Story that sells. Have you ever noticed people drawn into your story and then skip straight to the pitch? It's not because the story is bad. Your story is interesting, but it's not a bridge yet. If you're a coach or consultant selling a program or course, you're in the right place. And if you're a video VA supporting creators, stay tuned, because this is where VSLs usually lose conversions. I used to think I needed more stories to resonate, so I added more. Career history, backstory, extra details. People were interested, but many skipped to the pitch because curiosity is not the same as conversion. I'm a storyteller by nature, so this was a trap for me. I moved to New York in 1994 to become a costume designer. And then one day, a Greek stranger at a cafe looked at me and said, "Start your own business." It planted a seed. That's a perfect story moment, but it's not a bridge yet. And yes, there's a lot of story after that. But in a VSL, if I tell all of that, the viewer is thinking, interesting, but what does this have to do with me? That's the pattern. They watch the story, then skip to the pitch. So here's the fix. Story as a bridge, not a biography. A sales story has one job. Move the right person from where they are to why your solution makes sense. Story isn't the point. Story is the bridge. Full story video plus Q&A this Sunday at 11 a.m. ET. Link to the free 3-day VSL challenge is in the pinned comment. Use this 3-beat story. 1. Before, the moment. 2. Shift, what changed, what you realized. 3. After, what's possible, plus next step. Full story video plus Q&A this Sunday at 11 a.m. ET. Link to the free 3-day VSL challenge is in the pinned comment. Here's what works better than a long life story. 1. Before, name the moment they're in. Example, I'm good at what I do, but I'm not getting consistent leads. 2. Shift what you realized. Example, my story wasn't a bridge, it was a biography. 3. After, what becomes possible plus. 1 next step. Example, now my message is clear and people know exactly what to do next. Story is a bridge, not a biography. Use these 3 before, shift, after examples as on-screen cards. Example 1, burnout, wellness. Before, I was tired all the time and told myself to push through. Shift. Then I realized burnout isn't a motivation problem. It's a direction problem. After, now I help people choose one next step that brings relief this week. Example 2, career, leadership. Before, I kept saying yes to work that looked good on paper. Shift. Then I noticed my confidence wasn't missing. I was just in the wrong lane. After, now I help professionals make one clear career move without starting over. Example 3, business creators. Before, my offer was good, but explaining it sounded complicated. Shift. Then I realized clarity beats persuasion. After, now I help experts turn a messy message into one clear promise and one next step. These are varied enough to not feel too corporate. Why they skip to the pitch. People skip when they don't know who it's for yet, they don't know what the outcome is yet, or your story feels like it's about you, not them. So the fix is bring one person plus one promise into the story early. Full story video plus Q&A this Sunday at 11 a.m. ET. Link to the free 3-day VSL challenge is in the pinned comment. Free 3-day VSL challenge, link pinned. Free 3-day VSL challenge to finish fast, even without a script yet. Link is pinned. And if you join before next Wednesday evening, I'll answer your question in the next Q&A. Before we jump into Q&A, thank you for the comments. Today, I pulled 5 questions from subscribers and put them together for today. And if you want me to answer your question next week, comment with who you help, what you sell, what your VSL should do, sell or book calls or list, and include the word question so I can find it.
How long should my story be in a short VSL?
For a short VSL, your story should be as long as it takes to do one job. Help the right person think, this is for me, and this makes sense. A helpful rule is your story is not a chapter, it's a bridge sentence or 2+1 turning point. If you notice your story takes you 2 to 3 minutes before the viewer even knows what you do, it's probably a biography. Start closer to the moment your client is in, not where your life started. Even one sentence can work, as long as it connects to the promise. For example, I burned out as a yoga teacher. Working hard just to make ends meet wasn't wellness at all. That's why I help who get outcome. The story length isn't the goal. The goal is, does it move them smoothly into the promise and the next step? If you want the free 3-day VSL challenge, the plan and checklists to finish a publish-ready VSL video in 3 days, even without a script yet, link is pinned. Story is a bridge, not a biography.
How do I tell my story without making it about me?
Great question. Here's the mindset shift. Your story is not your resume. It's a mirror for your audience. A simple trick is to start with their moment and only use your story as the bridge to the solution. So instead of, let me tell you about my journey, you start with, if you're experiencing this, then your story becomes, here's what I learned and here's what works. You are the next. If your viewer can't see themselves in your first few lines, they'll skip. If they can, your story feels personal and relevant. Free 3-day VSL challenge to finish fast, even without a script yet. Link is pinned. Story is a bridge, not a biography.
What if my story is messy or too personal?
You don't have to share everything to be authentic. Think of it like this. You're allowed to share the lesson, not the whole diary. You can say, there was a time I struggled with this, and then go straight to, here's what changed, and here's what I do now. If something feels too personal, don't use it as your main sales story. Choose a smaller, safer story that still builds belief, like a client pattern you've seen, no names, a messaging mistake you made a moment you realized what wasn't working. Messy stories can be powerful, but in a VSL, you want clarity first. Free 3-day VSL challenge to finish fast, even without a script yet. Link is pinned. Story is a bridge, not a biography.
I'm editing for a coach. How do I get the story I need without endless revisions?
This is such a good question, because endless revisions usually happen when the story wasn't decided before editing. The fix is to get the coach to approve a story spine before you touch the timeline. What you need from them is not more footage. You need decisions. Who is this for? What outcome are we promising? What is the one next step? Then you ask for one short story beat. What was the moment you realized the old way wasn't working? When you lock those decisions, editing becomes assembly, not guessing. And revisions drop. Free 3-day VSL challenge. To finish fast, even without a script yet. Link is pinned. Story is a bridge, not a biography.
Where do I put the pitch so viewers don't skip?
People skip when the pitch feels like it comes out of nowhere. The pitch should feel like the next logical step after your bridge story. So instead of waiting until the very end, place a light version earlier, right after the viewer understands who it's for, what outcome you help them get, and why your approach makes sense. Then later, you repeat it clearly with one CTA. Here's a simple way to think about it. If your story is before, shift, after, the pitch belongs right after, because that's when the viewer is thinking, okay, what do I do now? Free 3-day VSL challenge. The plan and checklist to finish a publish-ready VSL video in 3 days, even if you don't have a script yet. Link is pinned. And if you join before next Wednesday evening, I'll answer your question in the next Q&A. Story is a bridge, not a biography. If you want the free 3-day VSL challenge, the plan and checklist to finish a publish-ready VSL video in 3 days, even if you don't have a script yet, link is pinned. And if you join before next Wednesday evening, I'll answer your question in the next Q&A.